Busy. Thank you. So I wanted to start recording our journeys to the gym because if you think about it, it's like what we spend 4 or 5 times a week traveling to the gym,
Yeah.
and it's about a 20-minute journey usually.
And in that
Sometimes,
20 minutes, we basically just talk about what we're going to do at the gym, what's happening through the day.
yeah, normally we're talking about our training session, and I try and explain to you what we're going to be doing and why, and we kind of know anyway from the programming on the kitchen fridge, but I wanted us to start to sort of document it like a diary so people can see that there's more than what just goes on in the gym.
Mm.
Um, well, today's a bit weird because we had a bit of a bad morning because Rowan's little sister was in a dance competition this morning, but she got all dressed up, got her makeup done, and then she wouldn't go on the stage, and she cried, and so it's all been a bit of a saga this morning. So nothing's really gone to plan. It's been a bit out of sorts. And also, the gym we train at in Warwick has got a competition on today, a BPU qualifier. So the gym's rammed, so we can't have our usual morning. We'd probably be in the gym about 11 o'clock, half 10, 11 o'clock on a Saturday. But because of the competition and Hetty's dancing, we've ended up, it's half one now. So we're really, it feels a bit weird to be going this time. It does for me anyway. I don't know if it feels weird for you this sort of time, because I would normally be back from the gym at this time, around and be out with his friends on his bike or doing something like that. So it's not the usual day. So it's kind of a weird day for us to start recording our journey to the gym diaries. But it's not too bad because when we can't train at the gym, we've got a little garage gym where we can go and train at our friend's house. So it means you can always get something done. Um, so that's kind of where we are. But I don't mind training at Aid's garage. I can still get bits done. You can get bits done.
Yeah.
The only difference is you haven't got, it's not the place we can use a lot of machines or whatever, but it's still pretty well equipped, so we can always get a decent session in. And it's quite nostalgic for us to do the odd session there because that's where Rowan started training originally. We're going through a bit of a kind of a weird time in Rowan's training because last year we went to America and we everything we did was based around getting ready for America for about a 4 month window. But Rowan's just started playing rugby again, and I think we realised that we had to change his training because I don't want to like slag you off, but you got a little bit clunky and a bit slow. Yeah, little bit not very explosive, and that's because we kind of narrowed your training down to specialise a little bit for the comp. You feel a bit slower,
Well, not really. Not really.
or you look a bit slower.
I am fast for my weight and my size.
You're fast over a short distance, but like if you want to go on to be an academy rugby player and be a professional rugby player, you're gonna have to be better at having better endurance, and that's not slagging you off. That's just the way it is. So, uh, I mean, like basically, you're not supposed to be lifting heavy all year anyway. You're not meant to be lifting heavy singles for across a 12-month window. That's only something we do
You
occasionally.
only really lift really, really heavy about twice a year.
Yeah, twice a yearish maybe, but like at the minute, like we've got kind of a weird schedule because Rowan, like you obviously come back from America and people know you was lifting some heavy once or twice, but that's not really what we do all year. And the rugby season's like in effect now, so you're a little bit more aerobic stuff going on, and like you're running a bit more. Um, Also, he's got a girlfriend now, so yeah, he's got a girlfriend now, so he's starting to look at his body a bit more and be a bit more conscientious about how he looks. So now he want to be big now, be muscular now, definitely. Look what you want, but that's what's going on, and I don't mind it because there is some benefits to hypertrophy, but functional hypertrophy for sport. But the problem is like you're 10 years old, so what do we know about hypertrophy?
11 actually in about 3
We're 11
weeks.
in 3 weeks, yeah, but yeah, okay, so you're nearly 11, right? So So what do you know about hypertrophy? Like, what if I said hypertrophy? What do you think that is?
Like, isn't it on the bikes and stuff?
No, that's no
Oh,
hypertrophy, like time and attention, building muscle, that sort, that kind of thing. You're thinking about endurance.
oh.
Hypertrophy is time and attention, isn't it? It's building muscle. It's what bodybuilders do. They want to stress muscle and often in the eccentric coming down, right? That's hypertrophy. But
So like, if you're doing leg extensions, you go not fast on the way up, but just normal speed, and then you go slow on the way down and pause, slow on the way down and pause. That's hypertrophy, isn't it?
yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be slow eccentric, but like we know that coming down is where you get the big stretch. Like the eccentric behaviour. That is why I say to you, don't rush. You can still get hypertrophy from fast work or explosive work or lots of reps. I mean, look at that. Look at Sam Sulek. Like, we watch him on YouTube sometimes, don't we? And like that guy, he's a young lad, and he's a rep. He doesn't do much slow eccentric. It's lots of heavy, aggressive pulling, and he's still massive, isn't he? Right. So there's other reasons why he's massive, which I'm not going to go into now. But I like the bloke. I think he's great, because he's honest, right? At least he's honest. But for you, like the reason why we'd never really pushed hypertrophy as an agenda is because you're not a teenager. You haven't got testosterone. It's not strictly like it's not true for everyone, but ultimately, if you're a child, you're not hit puberty yet, then we assume that you can't develop muscle that way.
Mm.
But I have read studies that says some people can like become outliers, like they start to they build muscle earlier.
Like when I was 6, I was skinny, but if you looked at all the other kids when they were 6, they were also really skinny. But I was ripped as well. I was quite small and skinny.
Yeah, you
I had a massive back. I had a 6-pack. I had biceps. You know.
Yeah, I had like in my classes, you had a window of about 6 years oldish, like for at least half of the year when you were 6, where your body was like it was really ripped. I got photos of it, but I don't think I'm not sure that was hypertrophy, a result of hypertrophy, because we didn't train that way. I think that was more to do with like you just seemed to lost some body fat quickly, and it showed up your muscle tone quicker. And I think that's the thing. Like when you're younger, like we never train that way. In case people are watching this and think, oh, we're trying to make a muscular kid. That's not the case. Like when you were really young, like I've always coached, and I still do coach you to be in a way where you're developing efficiency of the muscles, like you're developing tissue, but you're develop as a consequence maybe. But what you're doing is you're developing like really efficient recruitment of tissue from neuromuscular activity, from just learning patterns. Like so, your training has been pretty familiar in it most years. Like you've like same kind of movements in it most of the time. But I have read some studies that says children that have been exposed to resistance or impact loading, like jumping, running, pushing, pulling, for a long period of time, that they can have like an early onset of like increased testosterone development, and I think in your case that's what's going on. Like when you're always posing in the bedroom, like you're always showing off in the mirror, and you can see muscle in your back. I mean that's not a coincidence, and like it's not disrespectful to say, but like if you look at your rugby team and the lads you play with, you do stand out as different. Like your body's different. And when we play other kids, like other big kids, they get hit by you or they run into you, they're usually a bit shocked, aren't they? And like so you definitely have got some muscle. Like your back definitely has shown some muscle growth recently.
And now, like my core is starting to, like my stomach is losing fat now.
Yeah. Well, why do you think you've started to lose some body fat now?
Because we've changed our training.
Yeah, on the volume.
And I'm taking a flash to school every day, taking pasta, chicken and rice, eating more healthier.
Change your breakfast as well.
Yogurt, Greek yogurt, honey, strawberry, banana, or an omelette.
Yeah, an omelette. We get for a lot of eggs in our house. And then you're having when we get home, you tend to have like a dinner before the gym, like a decent dinner, like chicken, beef,
Then I
turkey
have
or
one
whatever.
after.
Yeah, then a post gym meal. Like we don't eat, have some vitamin supplements, but basically it's all just from food, isn't it? It's from real food.
I find the vitamins hard to take, especially the big one. I can't get it down my throat.
A big one, yeah. I mean, well, we've always said like get everything from food, so we don't really try and like get you full of stuff that is artificial. We try and make sure everything is come from real food.
Like protein powder, I don't take that.
It's just ultra processed. It's not like I can understand why people take it, and there's if you're certain demographics they need to take it, and some people need to take protein for the small intestine quickly. But like in my case and your case, I just want to drill that idea. You get everything you need from real food because it's attached to amino acids and it's more bioavailable. Do you know what that means? Bioavailable.
No.
Bioavailable is basically saying that the food you come into contact with it, and the way that your body can receive it, it's not like, let's say I give you something that's got 100 grams of protein, right? Your body probably won't absorb all that 100 grams, and also depending on how you receive it, it's not bioavailable.
Like, don't you need to have about 100 grams a day, like in stages?
Yeah, I
Don't
mean
just have it all
Yeah,
at
I'm
once.
only saying 100 because it's easy to work out the maths, right? So
I have 100.
yeah, you have about 120, around those lines. It's it's meant to be around about 1.52 grams per body weight, per kilo body weight. So roughly anyway. So yeah, if you just have real food, then you tend to like have more bioavailable sources.
Like, you don't need a chocolate bar to get sugar. You can have an apple or banana to get sugar in you. Natural sugars.
Yeah, we have it like So that's the thing. Like, so you've probably lost some body fat recently because you've been much more conscious of what you're eating and you've been more active. And like, it's not just what we're doing in the gym. Like when you get home, you're like, "Can I go out on my bike with my friends?" You just dash off. And like, I don't want you always dashing off, but if you had all those times you're running about with your mates and extra volume in the gym, that's one of the reasons why you've started to drop some body fat as well. And playing rugby as well, because you're running about more at rugby, and like you're like a snake. Like if you eat a load of rubbish, you can see like your belly looks big quick. And if you have a few weeks where you're sort of just a bit more aerobic in your behaviour, you tend to sort of drop weight really fast. Yeah, so that's where we are. But yeah, the training thing, like we have, is a big difference at the minute. I mean, how do you feel about the way we've moved to more volume?
I actually prefer it. Like, our old training, we used to do about an hour on like a squat or something.
Yeah.
Doing squats. And then we go to accessories for about 10-20 minutes. But now we go to squats for about 10-20 minutes. And then we go into accessories for about an hour. So we've kind of swapped our training over completely.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, like, so I'm not saying that that we don't do the powerlifting stuff. Like for people that are watching this, like it's not like we're not abandoning powerlifting. Like I still believe that the foundation of what you do is in those big compound movements, and I still think that if you can influence force production, like the most you can, the most you can move, the most force you can put on an object, that is still going to influence everything at the other end of the spectrum. It's going to influence the way you are explosive and the way that you express it in sport, for example, right? But because we can't be lifting heavy like that all year, we've kind of tweaked our training. So like what we've done is that kind of Arnold split that you see written up. You know what I mean about Arnold split. So like, let's say day one is day one is chest and back, right? And day two is arms and shoulders, and the next day is legs, like posterior chain, and then you rest. That's like a typical sort of bro split, Arnold split. I used to talk about it. In the kitchen there's that modern bodybuilding book that's talked about a bit in there. But what we do instead is like we're just making sure that you still develop the skill set to powerlift. So on each of those days you have a squat, bench, or deadlift. So you still get, but like probably in reps of like three the other day, when it. But if we're working in speed, it might be twos, three to five. I mean, like for an adult, that'd be like five. 3x5 is the kind of rep scheme I like to program for people, because that 5 is a good number to get that kind of general strength development. But for you, I think like 3, with the sort of load you're lifting, still 3s is still quite tiring, isn't it? like threes are like 80 kilo back squat or something like that. It's still very heavy, but it's about 80% for you at the minute.
On my back squat, on my third squat, just before, I'm like, oh, I just really want to put it down because somehow you're like out of breath. And I like my belt really tight because it helps me, but like with it tight, you're kind of out of breath. And on the way down, you're just gasping for breath.
Well, it's like want it to be on the limit, right? And I just think that your age and the volume you're doing and other things in your week, threes I think is more appropriate for your age. That's just my opinion, and that's based on our experience. But so what I'm saying is, it's not like we've abandoned anything. You're still doing the power lift, like your SBD.
I'm still doing SBD.
Yeah, well, we're doing on separate days. We might do the odd SBD day, just SBD.
Every single week we used to do an SBD day. I don't think we do it that much anymore.
No, we don't, because we've not got a comp to prep for ages.
Not for the next 3 months, anyway.
Well, basically, it's like this. The next 3 months, we're just going to make sure that there's volume. So, like, you're doing like you're turning at the gym. Let's say today's chest and back, right? And you've got bench today. So you'll bench your 3x3 as a working sets for powerlifting, and you'll probably work at like what 80%. Like I want to say like a soft touch, like we do normally. To make sure you've got the skill set you need for competition. So, what sort of load do you think that 80% is today?
Like 45.
45 kilo, right? So yeah, if you're pressing 45 kilo, wow, under sort of comp standards, then we move on to our chest and back and abdominal development. That's still going to give you what you need to keep that skill set. Because when you're doing the volume of reps, when we're doing the sort of kind of bodybuilding, like hypertrophy, if you want to call it that kind of stuff, you don't get the same tension. Like, let's say we're using a machine.
So if I just did bodybuilding and like for a year, and then I went back to powerlifting, I would be like all floppy.
Floppy, yeah. Yeah, you'd lose that skill. Like it's a skill development ultimately. You know, we're just telling the central nervous system this is what we're going to do. And so like that's why you get this kind of division between powerlifters, bodybuilders, and then the CrossFitters and things like this, because they all got different ideas about how they train. But like in your case, I've never tried to push the agenda to grow some muscle or get bigger, and that's because A, I didn't think it's possible because of your age, being a juvenile, and B, because it didn't suit what we were trying to do for your competitions. But now, like, I can definitely see there's muscle, right?
Yeah.
And you're eating much better.
My back starting to fill out more. So have my legs.
Back and legs are definitely growing.
My calves have gotten a lot bigger, and so has my upper leg.
Yeah, don't forget, like a lot of that stuff could just be due to you just getting older and changing. So it's not strictly like a consequence of hypertrophy, not a hypertrophic response, but as far as I'm concerned, like you are showing signs of it. So what we're doing now is we're going to approach training like we're trying to accumulate some volume. One, because that makes you fitter. Like more volume, less rest. That's making you fitter for rugby. Like it's improving your capacity to stop, start, and exert force on an object. That's what we want for rugby, right? Two, I do think there is some hypertrophic response. You are going to grow a little bit, and we are going to know for definite because we did all your measurements, didn't we? Like we measured like calves, neck, shoulders, waist. What else do we measure?
Cool. I don't really want my core to get bigger.
And the midline, didn't we? Around the waist, around the navel. We measured something else.
How do you get your neck
forearms
more broad?
What, like George from Cannibal Corpse?
Yeah.
No one's going to have a neck like him, mate. But like the neck, well, traps, isn't it? Around the traps. You know, like we did that drill where we did the shrug, right?
Like, and not a farmer's carry. The things you have for farmer's carries, but like this.
Yeah, or with the dumbbells. And we did that, you know, with the seated shrugs where you lean forward and then you shrug backwards into your like rear delts and then traps as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I mean. We measured all that, so we will definitely. And we're going to measure every 6 weeks. And if you're eating like we hope you're going to be eating, and recovering well, having good sleep, because like in sleep, what is it I've told you about sleep? Like what's important about sleep?
That's where like all your muscles are doing the most work. Not the most work.
Repairing.
Yeah.
Do you remember the name of the hormone we talked about that gets released in sleep?
No, I forgot.
I'll give you £10 if you can remember it.
I forgot.
You want to listen more, you win some money.
I remember the conversation. I just forgot.
Grayling,
I was
isn't it?
thinking that.
Oh yeah. You don't get a tenner for thinking it, mate.
Can I get an ice cream instead?
No. I mean, look, when you sleep, look, that's when the pituitary gland is doing its job, and it's releasing growth hormone, right? And that's where you fix problems. The gym is just damaging stuff. So from now on, when we go to the gym, we're going to assume that the work you're doing in volume is helping rugby. It's improving your capacity to be good over a distance, to show multiple reps of things, And basically, let's be honest, we break it down, get a bit of a sweat on. I know that sounds a bit simplistic, but that is kind of what's going on.
I don't know if this is strictly true, but I heard something like, I don't know if you told me this, but apparently powerlifting can affect your rugby in a way, because you just stood there or lying down, just doing one movement and then put it back down, and it's very stationary.
Who's told you that though?
I don't know. I can't really remember.
Yeah, look,
but farmers carries and sandbag carries and all of this, you're moving about with the weight, so it kind of gets more explosive. Box jumps, especially.
The thing is, you do maximal strength, being able to move a thing once or twice, or whatever. That's useful. It's just a foundation we're building on. Like that, building that capacity is helping everything else. If there isn't anything in life where being strong isn't better. If you're fast.
That's the main reason why you started to train me, isn't it?
Yeah, I started to train you because I've read loads before that, and I've experienced loads where being strong is always better.
And because you thought that, if I wouldn't have done all this training, I would have just got fat because of my genetics.
It's not a given you'd be fat. I mean, I'm podgy. Let's be honest. I've been podgy most of my life, and I struggle with my weight. And I wanted you to have a mindset where you go, I go to the gym to train. It's normal. That's why I get really fed up with people online. Since you won that competition in the States and you set world records, people commenting on the stuff we're doing, going, "Oh, he's not got a real childhood. He doesn't do this, that, and the other." And
just let him eat sweets.
Yeah, just let him eat sweets. And I just think, you've got no idea, the amount of time that we put into, just thinking about if we're doing the right thing or not, and reading and studying.
I don't think people actually think I'm still a kid. I can still eat sweets, but I still go to the gym. I can do all these things that normal kids do. If a kid gets a trampoline like a normal kid, I can actually get a trampoline.
You're not having a trampoline.
I used to have one.
Yeah, well, I hate those things. They fill up the garden and they end up going rusty and blown over in the wind. You're not having a trampoline.
I'm still a kid. I still watch cartoons and stuff.
Yeah, you still do kid-like things.
I'm not a cyborg.
It's the gym is just one of the many things you do, isn't it? And I wanted to record the diaries of gym journeys to show people that it's a part of our life. It's an important part. And people think you can't enjoy it. Like some people think that. I think because lots of people don't enjoy the gym. They think that we don't either, or you don't either.
Especially the training that I'm doing at the moment, I'm really enjoying it. I'm not just saying that, I am actually enjoying it.
Yeah, and like I say, I think strength training, maximal strength powerlifting style training that you've done, it can get stressful when you've got a number to hit or a percentage to hit, but that's not a problem because that's part of it. That pressure is useful. Like you say, you want to play rugby, and you'll be an athlete. You're under pressure every week to play rugby every week professionally. So that pressure is something to learn to live with. But I do think that the next 3 months training to build some volume and build a bigger base is the key thing. But we're still going to develop the skill of your squat, bench, deadlift, and you're not going to be abandoning that. It's just we tweak things because you're rugby. What I want to see with your rugby is that you just up your work rate. You just start getting to the breakdown quicker. You make the big tackles. You're not looking at me and your mom going, "Oh, look, I did the big thing." You're in the next tackle.
At the moment, he told me to up my work effort, or whatever he said, and as soon as you make a tackle, get up and make another tackle, and I've been a lot better than that. Be on the front foot, he said.
That's the thing, isn't it? Being strong, if you can express it, it's got to be linked to other things. It's got to be linked to like endurance for a sport. What you were saying about powerlifting making it a bit clunky or whatever for rugby, all that is like it's because we haven't done enough. We just narrowed it down a little bit. Like we had to narrow down your training before you went to America because it costs so much money and so many people have invested time and money to sponsor you that we just have to make it our priority for a little while. But we don't specialise in anything. You're too young to specialise. You know, being a generalist is what you need at this age. But we've got too much evidence to show that like being strong has just improved your life incrementally. So when people say something different, they just don't understand, mate.
Like when I was about 9 to 6, I did swimming, powerlifting, all different sorts, martial arts, rugby.
Yeah.
I used to do.
Judo.
Yeah, I didn't specialise in powerlifting. I've never specialised in powerlifting.
No. Well, people. I think because in the past we've started to use social media a bit more, and we just posting like clips of your general training, like just highlights, and we probably don't explain all that. So hopefully, recording the gym journeys will give people a bit more insight into what we're about and give a more rounded picture. Anyway, here we are, Broadbrow Village. Got to train in the garage. Hopefully, Adrian's awake. Chest, back,
Core. Well, that's another thing. Every
these
single
jets-
session now, we're doing core, aren't we?
Yeah,
Every single
I just
session.
worry that when you're not putting the heavier load through your body and you're not having that heavy bracing, that we're going to lose some sort of skill set. So just a little bit more time to put your obliques, hamstrings, quads, midline, or just under stress for a long period of time.
Mm.
Okay, mate, let's go.
Bye.